Looking for a run, has to bullock into the clear. Elbasil and First City are deeper out. Presma still last. Mudahati trying to get through. Master of Hounds in front of Secrecy. City Style trying to run the Master down. Master of Hounds in front. City Style going to him, but Master of Hounds is battling back. And finally he's won another race, and it's a Group 1.
Master of Hounds winning last year's Jebel Hatta at Meydan, representing Mike de Kock in the race this year, and it's the de Kock show again potentially. He versus Godolphin, they dominate the field numbers. And
he's got two very strong chances in the Jebel Hatta of 2013 as well, with the Apache and also Mare Gugu, who will be second up. And here are some of the other competitors that will line up.
Yeah, great race, the Jebel Hatta, the race of the night, Jerry.
Yeah, just about. In particular, I think Mike de Kock will have the Quinella. His two horses that have come up from South Africa look particularly smart, and the Apache won very well. Saw him last time. Woody won that going away, and Igugu was victim of, wasn't the best ride Sumion's ever given a horse. Was too much pace. He got in a speed battle with a horse who capitulated. But we'll see the Apache here first, who's has the run of the race and then gets a gap late.
We'll see Sharistan, which we highlighted, is on the rail at the moment. Very unlucky in this race. You can see the Apache with a beautiful trip into it. Sharistan is, well, locked up with nowhere to go and doesn't get a run at them. And you can see wider out City Style, who just seems to line up at these carnivals and fills placings in races like this. But I think the two main runs to take out of this race, the Apache and also the very unlucky Sharistan, Joe.
Good step up by the Apache in this race, wasn't it?
Well, he's a dual Group 1 winner in South Africa, so he has the form on the board, but his form in South Africa, he was just a little bit below what Igugu was able to achieve. But the way he's won that would suggest that he's able to perform very well in this again. You touched on Sharistan, Jason. He's just a horse who seems to get back in the run, and he needs to have things to suit him. When he's hit traffic, that's the second occasion this carnival where he's struck interference, so that might be a concern.
Yeah, he'll be a horse that the tempo will sort of dictate how he performs. It'll be better drawn out rather than drawn in. A horse that actually beat home Mizani in Ireland before Mizani came here to Hong Kong and to Richard Gibson's stable, and obviously now a contender for the Hong Kong Derby, Sharistan.
Okay, interesting link there to Hong Kong. Christophe Soumillon was aboard the Apache last start. Let's hear his thoughts on the horse's performance.
Congratulations, Christophe Soumillon, once again. A horse who, obviously on the face of things, looked like he might need this run, but he travelled beautifully for you.
Yes, he was walking very well in the morning. You know, he's not a very big horse, so he doesn't need, I think, too many races. He's walking so good at home that we are quite confident. It was a test run. There are so many good horses in this race today, so we just need to see how the level of the stable are, and it's a good sign for the future for us.
And your carnival's certainly up and rolling now.
Yeah, it's a good start now. We have to keep going like this, and I'm sure the horses will give it back to us because they are, like me, in good form.
Congratulations. Here's the winning trainer, Mike de Kock. What a night, Mike. We knew it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, look, you know, as I said before, the horses have taken time to come right with all the travelling. And, you know, the thing is that you've got to get them fit here. You know, it's not as if you're arriving fit, so it's not easy.
Well, you certainly got this horse fit because it was a good quality field for this race, a Group 2 race and a good race in depth.
It was a good race in depth. You know, looking at the way that Sharistan won last time, he looked like he was going to be a big danger. But, you know, this horse is a good horse. He's nowhere near peak fitness. He'll improve still. Yeah, fantastic win. Very, very proud of him.
One of the other things people will be looking at this result at and going, well, this is interesting. He was 6th to Igugu in the J&B Met Mile. So what does that tell you?
That's still another 2 weeks.
So what of his champion mare Igugu? It had been a long time since she raced, and her return recently was creditable.
Very much so. She was off the track for 390 days, believe it or not, as a result of, it was a hitch last year with her, and then the quarantine procedures from South Africa due to the element of African horse sickness are prohibitive. So, and this is where she didn't run too badly here at all in this race, the balance sheet. She was just tested all the way.
I thought she ran exceptionally well. There she is. You can see finishing in 3rd was Saja going straight past, but what we don't see is what happened in the first 1,200 metres of this race. This race overall was run just over a second quicker than the Apache ran it, but the first 1,200 metres of that race there, that Agugu was sitting right on speed, was some 3 seconds or a bit more faster run than the Apache's race. So for her to stick on, given the horse that sat outside her, I think finished more than 15 lengths behind
20
her,
lengths beaten.
Or 20 lengths beaten. Boy, that was a heck of a run. The only question is how much will that take out of her, given the 390-day break that she had. I know De Kock is a master in being able to manage his horses and get them right, given the really tough quarantine restrictions that are placed on horses coming from South Africa to the world.
True. Well, he rates her very highly. I think it's also interesting in that Christophe Soumillon, I'd imagine he would have been wanting to ride this horse, but I think he got the sack from this, and they call up Anthony Delpech, who rode the horse to numerous Group 1 wins in South Africa. And he knows the horse better, and the horse does not necessarily have to be gunned forward as happened on that occasion. And I think Delpech will take a sit in her this time. Flexible tactic, she's got a handy gait, and I think she'd still be the one to beat, as long as that race hasn't taken too much out of her.
Andrew Balding has Side Glance representing the stable in this race. Very good performance in the Queen Anne at Royal Ascot in the middle of last year.
Yeah, he ran well. This is his level. When he goes into a Group 1, he's able to finish second, third, fourth, or so. He's more of a Group 2, Group 3 horse. He could be something for multiples as regards Hong Kong, but I couldn't see him winning it, to be honest.
It was a little bit flattering this day, wasn't it? Because Acceleration was ridden to try and beat Frankel, as opposed to conceding that maybe second was his lot. So he got very close to Acceleration, even though maybe Acceleration is a better horse than the margin between Side Glance, and it sort of reflects here.
Yeah, he was just keeping it really at arm's length for her. Still staggered by that win, but anyhow. Yeah, Side Glance, I think it could run third at best, but it's quite a good race, this. I think De Kock has it really sorted out with the Apache and Agugu. The other one is City Style, you touched on earlier as well. Very consistent. He was second in this race last year. He was third in the Duty Free. Drawn to advantage again, he'll be thereabouts.
The pace in this race, Joe, won't be quite as stern as what we saw in Agugu's lead-up race, so that definitely will advantage City Style. Sajha is in great form, the mare, the Godolphin mare, and so I wouldn't be underestimating her capabilities of being able to figure in the finish of this race, given that, like, personally sort of rate Agugu's form, so I think I'd need to be rating that horse's form as well, Sajha.
Okay.
Could be value, yeah, but this is definitely her toughest assignment yet.
So one way or the other, we all agree that Mike De Kock has the Jebel Hutter sewn up. He, of course, has the champion mare and reigning South African Horse of the Year, Agugu, having her second start after a long time off. But the Apache, for mine, I was very happy with his performance last start, and I think he's got that fitness edge on his stablemate.
I think just Agugu was a better horse than the Apache, and South African can turn it around this time. So the Apache second, and then City Style, always consistent, him to run third.
Where Apache gets to from post 10 is the big question. Thought Agugu would get one of the runs of the race on speed. Won't be going anywhere near as hard as last start. Sharistan very interested in, and given that Sajha beat home Agugu and had every opportunity to do so, I'm not going to let her go completely.
Okay, that's the Jebel Hutter and a summation of how that's likely to unfold tomorrow night in Dubai. We'll be back with more of our preview of this important program right after this break.